Well, in just a couple of hours, the trial is set to start for one of the officers who left a woman locked in a patrol car that was hit by a train. Back in September, Jordan Steinke with Fort Lupton Police put Yoreni Rios, who was accused of road rage, in the back of a patrol car. That patrol car was parked on the railroad tracks. Then a train crashed into the car. Rios survived, but she was seriously hurt. Steinke is now facing charges for attempted reckless manslaughter and a misdemeanor charge. The officer who parked his car on the tracks is also facing misdemeanor charges. Steinke's trial is set to start at 8:30 this morning. We will be watching as it happens, and we'll keep you updated as we learn new information.
Right now, a Colorado State Patrol trooper is in the hospital after two drivers crashed into CSP vehicles investigating an accident. Today, CSP says it'll share the dash cam video of those crashes. This happened early Saturday morning. Two CSP cars were parked on 270 in Adams County investigating a crash. CSP says one driver crashed into one of the patrol cars, and then shortly after, a second driver crashed into another patrol car. Both patrol cars were empty at the time. It is not clear exactly what happened next, but CSP says a trooper ended up over a bridge barrier and down a 30-foot embankment. That trooper has serious injuries. CSP thinks both drivers were impaired. Today, the city of Denver will open an emergency operations center. It's part of Mayor Mike Johnston's plan to address homelessness in the city.
Our Brianna Fernandez joins us live in Denver. And Brianna, this was a big promise that he made during his campaign.
Yeah, good morning to you both. So Mayor Mike Johnston, he made this announcement shortly after his inauguration, and he says his plan is to house 1,000 people by the end of this year. Now, that's just one of the few first steps as a new mayor. Johnston said the emergency declaration was necessary to speed up state and federal resources to address what he describes the most significant issue Denver is facing. The new mayor plans to house unsheltered people in existing rental apartments and hotel rooms that can be converted into housing. He also wants to build communities of tiny homes that can be built quick and cheap. And in January 2022, the Metro Denver Housing Initiative counted around 1,300 people unhoused on our Denver streets. Housing 1,000 people in 6 months would account for about 75% of Johnston's 4-year goal.
But this entire focus is on people who are living outdoors, who are unsheltered, who are in encampments, who we think are at the greatest risk to themselves, and that we think pose a real opportunity for them to get back on their feet and for us to get back public sidewalks and spaces where all of the city has access.
Now, the total count of how much this would cost is still unknown. There needs to be a little bit more research by his administration and other parties. But Johnston says that the city has a budget so it can help. But under state law, the emergency declaration can go past 7 days unless city council approves it. So Jordan, Corey, we have to wait and see if they extend it.
All right. Well, they're not wasting any time, that's for sure. Brianna, thanks.
A man from Inglewood says his home is destroyed, after police shot and killed a man inside almost a week ago. And that homeowner says he had no idea the man was even there. Joe Wasna says he was at work and didn't know his sister asked her ex to come by. Well, when he got home, he could hear his windows shattering from the other side of the police tape. Police say the suspect shot at them from inside. They eventually broke down the door and used tear gas before killing him. Now, Wasna says the damage is so bad, building inspectors condemned the home, and it's up to him to fix it.
I mean, my garage door is laying on the ground over there. My screen door is laying on the ground over there in a pile. I'm, utterly devastated. My house is all I have. I don't have much else,
Wasna says he's essentially homeless, couch surfing with friends. His car also has tons of bullet holes in it. Wasna says he plans to file an insurance claim and petition the city to see if they will pay for damages. He doesn't have high hopes that either will come through, so he started a GoFundMe as well. Now, in the past, courts have sided with police departments saying they don't have to pay for damage like this. Back in 2019, the 10th Circuit Court said that Greenwood Village didn't have to compensate a family whose home was destroyed by police after an armed man hit inside.
It's 6:06 right now, and new this morning, 7 Republican candidates have met polling requirements they need to take part in next month's presidential debate. Those 7 candidates: former President Donald Trump, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, tech entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy, former Vice President Mike Pence also met the criteria, along with UN Ambassador Nikki Haley. Senator Tim Scott and former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie are also on the list. The Republican National Committee says the rules for sets the rules for who can debate. The first one is set for August 23rd in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. In total, 14 Republicans have announced they're running. It's not clear if the other 7 will meet the requirements to take part in that debate.
1 week from today, UPS workers' contracts expire. Now, if union negotiators and the company can't come to a a deal, workers say they will strike, and that could have a huge impact on our economy. Negotiations are supposed to pick back up this week. UPS and the union have resolved several sticking points, including heat safety and mandatory overtime, but they're still working out pay for part-time workers, which is more than half of the union workers at UPS. Experts say that UPS handles about a quarter of the packages shipped across the country each day, so if workers strike, it would really slow those deliveries down.
Well, actors have been on strike for about a week and a half now, and it made this year's Comic-Con look very different than usual. Comic-Con has been around since the 70s. Usually actors and other celebs are there, but because of the strike, some people say the event is more similar to when it first began. They say that while it's disappointing to have the actors' discussion panels canceled, it's nice to have the focus on the comics and the artists and writers behind them.
XL workers here in Colorado could vote to go on strike as soon as tomorrow. After months of negotiations, 23 meetings, and 150 different proposals, the union says they have hit a wall. A federal mediator even came in on Thursday, and still no deal. The union is asking for better pay, a 20% increase over 3 years instead of 13% XL offered. They also want guarantees for employees at coal power plants, and they do not want mandatory on-call shifts.
But the fact is, July 30th at midnight is the deadline, and the lack of movement in the last multiple sessions is unfortunately getting us closer to an impasse, which allows for the next steps to actually become more of a reality.
Now, if they don't reach a deal, 1,900 linemen, power plant operators, and gas fitters could vote to strike. In a statement, an XL spokesperson said, quote, "We are negotiating in good faith and will continue to do so. We would like to continue making progress."
Well, one thing you want to know about the weather today is it's going to be hot. Look at these temperatures, 90s to around 100 degrees along the front range. Chance for any little rain to kind of cool us off. Maybe an isolated storm. Tomorrow, more of the same, 90s to around 100, and only chance for an isolated storm.